And I understand, I really do. I understand that she wants to live, to explore, to enjoy life. But what bothers me isn't that she goes out, but that she doesn't have time for me anymore. It makes me feel like I'm part of her past life, the one where she didn't have a social life, and now that she does, she doesn't need me anymore. I've also noticed that her attitude has changed a lot. Before, she was very sweet, very empathetic, always checking in on me. Now she's colder, more distant. Everything revolves around her plans, her friends, parties. She talks to me about drinks, about guys who talk to her at clubs, supposedly to tell me how intense people can be, and she tells me everything as if it were perfectly normal. I don't know if I'm the one who's wrong, but I feel like sometimes she does it to see how I react. Another thing that hurts is that she doesn't care as much about spending time with me anymore. Before, if we spent a weekend together, she was happy. Now I have to adjust to her schedule, hoping she has time between outings or isn't tired from going out the night before. I've started to feel like a burden, like I'm getting in the way instead of being her partner. I know a lot of people will say, "Let her live her life, she's young, you've been through it," and I understand. But at the same time, isn't a relationship also supposed to be about commitment, time, and attention? Is it wrong to expect your partner to think of you when they make plans? Is it wrong to feel sad because you no longer seem to be a priority? I don't want to limit her or make her feel like she can't experience what she's missed out on. But at what cost? I've thought about whether I should have a serious talk with her and tell her that this isn't good for me. But I'm afraid she'll say that if I don't like it, it's better to end things. Not because I can't accept it, but because I love her. But I'm also starting to wonder if she still loves me the same way. Sometimes I feel like the version of Abby I knew doesn't exist anymore, and I don't know if this new version still fits with me. And it's hard to admit because I encouraged her to change, to go out, to get to know herself better. But I never imagined that this change would push me away from her. Has anyone else gone through something similar? Am I exaggerating? Or do I have reasons to feel this way? What would you do in my place? I didn't think I'd have to write so soon, but things really spiraled out of control, and I need to vent again. I read every single response you left me, and many made me reflect. I didn't expect what happened next, and honestly, I'm feeling a mix of anger, sadness, and confusion that I don't know how to handle. 5 days ago, something happened that I'm still struggling to process. Abby disappeared for 2 whole days. She literally vanished. It all started Friday night. She told me she was going out with her friends, as usual. I texted her around 11 at night just to tell her to be careful, and she didn't reply. I didn't think much of it at first because she usually takes a while to reply when she goes out. But the next day she still hadn't responded, and that's when I started to worry. I sent her several messages, called her, and nothing. I checked her social media. There were no new stories or recent activity. In the mid-afternoon, I messaged one of her friends, the only one I know personally, to see if they knew anything about her, and she said she didn't know where she was either, that she thought she was with me. That's when I started to really panic. I tried to contact her parents. I was shocked when they told me they had also been looking for her since the morning. They hadn't heard from her since Friday night. She hadn't come home. They thought she might have stayed at a friend's house, but they had already called all her acquaintances, and no one knew anything. Her mother was desperate. They asked me if she was with me, and I had to tell them no, that I had no idea where she was either. That's when it all turned into a nightmare. Her parents even went to the police to try to file a missing person report, but they were told they had to wait 72 hours for it to be officially considered a disappearance. The way they were treated was pretty cold, to be honest. The most absurd thing was that one of the officers said something like, "She's probably with her boyfriend. It's almost always like that." And I was just thinking, what do you mean with her boyfriend? I'm the boyfriend, and I have no idea where she is. It was 48 hours of total anguish. I could barely sleep. I felt sick, worried, with a constant knot in my stomach. I kept thinking about whether something had happened to her, if she was okay, if she was in danger. I even thought the worst. Nobody just disappears like that, without warning, without leaving a trace. It wasn't normal. And then, on Sunday night, Abby appeared as if nothing had happened. She texted me at 8:20 p.m. with a message that just said, "Hi, I'm back. Talk to you later." I called her right away, and she didn't answer. Half an hour later, she called me.